is happening, everybody, man? Thank you guys tuning in to another episode of the Agent to CEO podcast. And I'm excited, man. I get to chop it up with you guys solo today. And we're going to continue the leadership conversation that the path that we've been going down the last several weeks. And, really when you sit back and think about what really distinguishes great leaders from merely good ones isn't IQ or technical skills, but emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence gives us a greater awareness around the common sense factor, right? Never assume intelligence for another human being. You have to understand that business is just math. You have a model that delivers, captures, creates that value to a marketplace that just works in the math works or it doesn't. It could be a model issue, but for the most part, it's not a business problem, but a leadership problem. I believe that before you can lead, coach, or mentor, or train another human being, you have to be able to lead and coach yourself first at the highest level. People fall, man. I don't want to say they fail. People fail in leadership because they have just not spent the required amount of time coaching and leading themselves first. They haven't invested on the personal development side, right? You've got to be willing to invest in your personal development. If you want to make $1 million this year, a line item in your budget should be for personal development. And Jim Rohn's rule of thumb was 10%. You want to make $1 million? Are you willing to invest $100K in yourself, in your business to achieve that desired outcome? Most people aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to make the investment. And this is why their businesses will stay where it is. They won't expand their leadership and personal development capabilities. Therefore, their business is not going to expand. The size of your business is in direct proportion to the size of your leadership capabilities. There you go. That's it. That's what's happening. If you're stuck, your leadership is stuck. Fix that, you fix your business. So, like I said, emotional intelligence is really what will separate you from other leaders is that soft skill in understanding it and how you're developing it and pouring into it at the highest of levels. So, emotional intelligence. There's 5 key components to emotional intelligence. Number one is self-awareness. Self-awareness is really the ability to recognize and understand our moods, our emotions, and our drives, what drives us, as well as their effect on others. For us to grow in self-awareness, we have to become more self-reflective, being able to pause and reflect strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, which means running a personal SWOT on yourself. There are also tools that can help, that we could utilize to increase our self-awareness. And a couple of my favorites, actually my favorite is Working Genius. Really being able to determine what your genius, what your competencies, and what your frustrations. I love it. It is by far the quickest way to tell me really how I'm going to get things done. And I've fallen in love with it since I've used it, and I've made hiring decisions, understanding my lane better off of that assessment. If you guys have not taken your Working Genius, go take it. It's the best $25 investment that you can make. Go figure out what your genius and, more importantly, what your frustrations are, so you have that self-awareness to be able to build from. Obviously, the DISC is still another great instrument, a great tool. The Colby, colors. There's so many of these assessments. In fact, take them all. take all of the assessments, because every one of them is going to give you a little distinction, a little bit of insight. And for us as humans, one of the things that replenish the emotional batteries is also our health. Okay, so we have the tools, we have our health. That's also going to help that level of self-awareness and being able to understand when things go sideways and they get out of whack, and how we can get them back in line faster. So on the self-awareness, on the health side of things, we have three things on the health side that we need to be paying attention to, right? This is part of the self-awareness. Nutrition, your diet. That's another is strength, right? Strength training, the physical. And then the third is going to be cardio to counterbalance the emotions. This is super, super important. We'll see how these kind of have residual effects on the other components of emotional intelligence. But think about it. If you've ever been like drained, go for a walk. How do you feel afterwards? You feel recharged. You feel better. And that's what the recharge of our emotions is. We have to stay strong emotionally, but develop a high level of awareness so we are aware of what's going on. The other that's going to be one of my other go-to tools on self-awareness is going to be Dan Sullivan's unique ability exercise. And obviously it's pulling these different assessments, these different tests, but the main piece of unique ability is sending that message out to the people that will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. That's going to be one of the most powerful tools. I'd say unique ability, DISC is going to be good. Working Genius is going to be better. Really being able to get perspective from people that see your blind spots, tell you where you should be and where you shouldn't be. And then those tools and those instruments are going to help as well. Remember, it's about just creating the level of awareness. The physical pays attention to it. Nutrition, diet, hydration, sleep, all of those things factor in as well. And they kind of bleed over a lot of these 5 key elements of emotional intelligence. So number 1, self-awareness. All right. Number 2, self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to control our disruptive impulses and moods, suspend judgment, and think before acting. This is viral skill, needs, that allows us to keep our behaviors and emotions in check, even when faced with stress, challenges, the day-to-day of life. So when your team drops the ball with the client and you just want to lose your marbles, you want to just lose it, we have to step back in, right? We own the outcome. This is extreme ownership. This is the ultimate responsibility comes into play. What was missing? Okay. Do we have an operating procedure that's out of date or non-existent, right? Do we have a system or a process for that? That helps, make sure that it's a system breakdown and not a human breakdown. And if it's a human breakdown, then we got to install the system. But that triggers a level of self-awareness, right? When we react and instead we should be responding, our self-regulation to where we can regulate that ebbs and flows of our emotions is such a critical component, but it's only developed through a commitment to improve your emotional intelligence. So we have awareness where, there's more above the surface than below the surface, right? Like if you're a fish, the only thing you know is water, but there's more to that. So having that level of awareness, regulation, being able to regulate ourselves and our emotions, back to the nutrition, the physical activity, the, cardio element, right? What we're putting into our bodies, the hydration, the sleep, these all help. All of these components of emotional intelligence helps with our awareness, really helps with our self-regulation. So self-awareness, self-regulation. Number 3, motivation. Nobody can motivate you. Okay. People can inspire us, but motivation comes from within. Motivation is a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status. And it was really cool. A slight distinction, since throwing some distinctions out at you. There was one that's really hit me. Been really, really cool. Was on passion and purpose. I got to find it so I don't mess it up. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to read this because it's that good. Here we go. So this says motivation is a passion. Well, a passion is something you love doing. Okay. That goes beyond money or status. Now, a purpose is something you love doing that helps other people. Okay. And so motivation is from within. And like I said, nobody can motivate us because that motivation is internal. People can inspire us. They can inspire us to take action. Motivation is from within. And if you're looking for motivation, you're not going to find it. You're looking for inspiration. You're looking for those that can inspire us to get off of our butts, to take action, inspire us to be better. And from a motivational standpoint, there are different types of motivation. This is important because not all motivation is truly healthy. So one of the types of motivation is leading out of fear, out of guilt, out of shame, out of anger, out of rage. We've all experienced that type of motivation. We've probably done it to our kids, our team, our family. But the problem is that it breaks trust. Okay. My favorite definition of trust is just authenticity, vulnerability times time. Okay. You've got to be consistent over a period of time of being genuine and authentic and real. That's how trust is built. When you can prove that you can help solve problems, when you can prove you can do the thing, that's where trust lives. And when we're trying to find something that is leading out of fear, guilt, or shame, and we have to do that to take action, we're just going to break trust. We're going to do it to others, but when we do it to ourselves, like it's just a bad residual when we want to find motivation this way. The other is extrinsic rewards. So think of the first as the stick. This is the carrot. It is often necessary to provide incentives in order to encourage others to go harder, right? Specific goals. These incentives or these carrots must be continuously updated in order to maintain their effectiveness. So think about that. Think about when you've ran competitions and everybody gets excited about it. I remember Cindy Featherstone in Tyler, the first time we kind of looked at this and we wanted to change the behavior of her entire organization from mainly focusing on buyers to becoming 100% listing focused, listing centric. So we ran a listing contest and we had the scoreboard. The outcome was, cruises, and, you could earn spending money on the cruise. You could earn VIP experience on the cruise. There's all kinds of things that you could earn, a better cruise experience for you and your guest. That's a carrot. We ran it. It worked so well. We thought we could run it again. Same outcome, same carrot. Maybe half of the outcome that we had the first time. And that is because this is a motivation that always has to be bigger and better. So think about the things like, I'm going to reward myself with this. Then you go get it, you do it, you get the reward. And then you look to try to do it again and you just don't have the same pull. This is the same. Okay. Now, does this work? Heck yeah, this works. It works really well. The downside, like I said, is that you always got to make the carrot bigger. Okay. So carrots and sticks, forms of motivation, just not the best. This is where they get better. This is the third one. Intrinsic rewards. The ship starts to turn when we move away from the carrots and the sticks and get into the intrinsic side of things. This is why it's important when we push all of our team and ourselves that we work and coach with and ask for greater purpose. What are you the best in the world at? What is your unique ability? Being able to have that keeps us in alignment with that purpose. Okay. Remember, passion is something you love doing. Carrots and sticks. Purpose, intrinsic reward. A purpose is something you love doing that helps other people. Especially when you're the best in the world at that thing, and that thing is your unique ability. That keeps us in alignment. Simon Sinek broke this down in his book, Start With Why. The why, the way I best understand the why process that Simon talks about in Start With Why. What are you the best in the world at so that you could do it that gives you the most fulfillment? That's the unpacking and understanding that I have. That's where the intrinsic side of things comes in. And this, as I said, is the first level of motivation that doesn't leave a toxic residue. Find your purpose. What are you the best in the world at so that you can do that thing that's going to give you the greatest amount of fulfillment? Inspire and challenge people to think bigger so that they can transform their lives and transform their business. That's my why statement. What's yours? Fourth part of motivation. Fourth part of motivation is play. When we're considering how to design work that will engage us, remember, we are all in a creative world. In the most creative time to be able to really architect what we want our business and our lives to look like. I want you to think that you have a blank canvas. How do you design your business? How do you design work that engages you and feels like play? Right? Think about our kiddos, right? Summer break, man, they're just having the time of their lives. Just being kiddos. Out playing. Having fun. We love it when it doesn't feel like work. And work, especially in this industry, is hard. It's real hard right now and difficult. Yet at the end of the day, if you're locked in and it feels like play, you won't feel that it was like that it was hard and difficult. You just won't. And the fifth part of motivation, man, it's just love. The love of the thing. I love cooking. I love running. I love playing golf. I love working out. I love coaching. I love the thing itself. If you're building a team, sidebar, every one of you on here is building a team. You're building your life team. You're building the support, the structure for your business. We all have a team. We all do. Tiger Woods has a team. Okay? If you're building a team, as you're building your team, let me put it that way. As you're building your team, it has to be motivated by those last three. You have to create an environment. Remember, it's a creative world. You have to create and design an environment, a culture where people are driven by their intrinsic, purpose-driven motivation. It has to feel like play. And dang, man, they just have to love it. And then we have to make sure that it's aligned to our purpose. Get everybody's commitment to play in what they're the best in the world at, and go have fun. Love it. Whatever it is for you, right? What is that? Love the thing and love each other. That's the culture you want to create. You want to pull your people. You want to challenge them all the time. Okay? You have to do this with your team on a weekly, if not daily basis. I'm like, listen, y'all were hired for this, but what do you love doing? This is one-on-one conversations. What do you love doing? What do you not want to do? If you could do this thing all day, every day, what would it be? And that's where we try to move them into where they're working in their zone, a zone of genius, building a self-managing team because they're aligned, doing the things that just comes natural to them. They're having fun. They love it. They love each other. They're driven by their internal rewards. That's how you build a team that wins in the future. Motivation. A lot to unpack there, but it's super important to understand. So we've got self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation. Fourth tenet of emotional intelligence, social skills. This means proficiency in managing relationships, building networks, finding common ground, building rapport, and moving people in the desired direction. Influence. That's what you have to focus on. Are you developing the skill set to be able to build relationships? Are you able to build that circle that's inspiring you and pushing you to be the best version of yourself on a daily basis? Social skills refer to your ability to move people in that desired direction, characteristics and effectiveness, and most importantly, lead change, influence, lead change. It means being able to have the ability to persuade people to see the direction and the point of view, and being able to get buy-in and commitment to that direction. It's being able to build the network and building and leading a team. And it's going to be really, really hard, guys, if not impossible, if you can't lead yourself first. That's where it has to start. Lead by example. Rule number one of leadership, lead by example. Social skills. So we have self-awareness, being able to regulate ourselves, being able to tap into our motivation, develop the social skills required. And number 5, and to me, this is the glue, this is the anchor, this is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Number 5 is empathy. If you get empathy at the highest level, okay, those other 4 things will take care of themselves. You want the cheat code? There you go. Understand empathy at the highest level. What that means is the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. How do you treat people according to their emotional reactions? For leaders, for us as leaders, having empathy is critical to managing a successful team or organization. Leaders with empathy have the ability to put themselves in somebody else's situation. They help develop the people on their team, challenge others who are acting unfairly, give constructive feedback, and listen to those who need it. If you want to earn the respect and loyalty of your team, then show them you care. You want to know the glue of all of this? You want to know the glue of leadership? Just care. Like genuinely, authentically, unconditionally care. Put yourself in somebody else's position, guys. Like sometimes it's so important that you do that. It's such a self-check to the ego. It's so easy to support our own points of view. After all, it's ours. But take the time to look at situations from other people's perspectives. This is why we have coaches. We all have blind spots. We need to be able to put ourselves in their shoes. What else could it mean? Pay attention to body language, tonality, cadence. It's not what they say, it's how they say it. Perhaps when we're listening to someone, we cross our arms, move our feet back and forth. That body language tells others how we really feel about the situation, and the message you're giving is not positive. Learning to read body language can be a real asset in your leadership role because you'll be better able to determine how somebody truly feels. You can call it out. You can recognize it. You get to explore it. You get to attend to it. Then you lift up the relationship. This gives us the opportunity to respond appropriately. The best video you can watch ever, and I highly recommend you watch it. I recommend you have your team watch it. You have your kiddos watch this. Like, for sure, have your kiddos watch this. The best video you can watch on empathy is a video from the Cleveland Clinic. And just go to YouTube, type in Cleveland Clinic empathy. Just search Cleveland Clinic empathy and watch the most powerful 4 minutes and 24 seconds that you possibly can on empathy. I would love for you to go watch it, and I would love for you to send me a message, your first instinct, your first feel, how you feel after watching that. And do you believe your emotional intelligence went to a whole nother level? Of course you will. But I want you to take the challenge, and I want you to be able to find the anchor, the glue for emotional intelligence, which is empathy. Guys, listen, this is the work. This is the work on us becoming the best versions of ourselves. Remember my coach, Coach Matt, maybe about 4 years ago now, had him on the podcast. First second time on the podcast, which, by the way, go check out any of the conversations that I've had with Dr. Matt Townsend. He's an absolute gift. Absolutely been one of the most important people in my life to change my life. And I asked Matt, what are the most important things for us as humans we need to be focused on learning and developing and committing to? He said 2 things. One is you have to have some type of mindfulness practice, period. You just have to. And I've been fortunate enough to be on the Headspace app, I think 43,000 minutes now. I mean, do the math, my average session, I think, is maybe 11 minutes. So 43,000 minutes at 11, that's 3,900 total sessions. So that divided by 60 minutes is 716 hours of Headspace. And do I get the full effects? I don't know, but I can tell you it sure has helped me. The second thing that he said is that we have to commit to developing and going deep in improving our emotional intelligence. 2 things most important for us as humans now and into the future: some type of mindfulness practice and studying and going deep on emotional intelligence. So gave you my mindfulness, whatever that is for you. Could be prayer, could be silence, could be, not active meditation, not mindfulness, but real meditation. Whatever that is for you, make sure you lock that component in. And then the other component here is just unpacking and exploding our emotional intelligence. So, guys, these 2 things will serve you well in your leadership and coaching capabilities now and into the future. And most importantly, will allow you to lead yourself even better. Awesome. Guys, appreciate y'all. Any questions, feel free to reach out. Of course, as always, got value from any of the shows, anything we're doing, man, hit that like, hit that follow, and share the show. Love for you guys to get the message out to as many people as you can. If you found value in it, we would love for you to share. Guys, Stay locked in, stay committed, and we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.